Good morning, folks. Welcome to Quantsapp. This is Vicky Sajnani. Let's get started with the morning market brief. 18,022 is where we shut shop in Nifty 50 futures. 103 points gains, 0.58% gains. 42,470 is where we shut shop in Nifty Bank futures. 257 points gain, which is about 0.61% gains. So let's see where the SGX Nifty is pointing to this morning. 18,056 thereabouts is the SGX Nifty. 31 points gain is what it's pointing to. So we can expect NSE to open in NSE futures, Nifty futures to open in a positive territory. Looking at the charts, 17,800 happens to be the major support zone for the counter. As we can see from the line drawn, horizontal line drawn, the next major level is around 17,600. And on the higher side, you have 18,000, of course, as the psychological level. 18,374 and 18,500 are the major levels on the higher side. So 17,800 is going to be the litmus test. Of course, 18,000 is going to be the psychological level, which could play out today. Looking at the built-ups from a futures end, you are seeing a long built-up, longs coming in. So let's see, after a series of shorts, you're seeing a long which has come in on Friday. So will that get followed through with further longs or not? That's a question to be, good question to ask. My sense is that 18,100 above, you could see some longs emanating in the system. But before that, it's difficult to capture that there could be longs on the overall system as such. Looking at the options data, we are seeing 17,900 as a major put OI, 17,800 also. And on the higher side, we are seeing a concentration across, which is 18,200, 18,400, the entire range actually having almost approximately equal OI as such. So there is a strong concentration of resistances, as you can say, and the major resistance stands at 19,000, substantial OI there. So on an overall basis, we are seeing a concentration of resistances on the higher side, while on the lower side, 17,900 happens to be the major put OI as such. Looking at Bank Nifty, so 42,470 thereabouts, 42,000 is the major support zone, 41,500 and 43,000, 42,500 is the resistance, 43,000 next major level. So I think the psychological level of 43,000 is crucial for the gusto move on the bull side as such. Looking at the open interest front, we are seeing some amount of longs which erupted on Friday. But let's see how that pans out. As I pointed out, that 43,000 happens to be a strong level on the higher side. So a gusto move is expected only above that. 42,409 thereabouts is the fair price of futures, considering weekly expiries. So you have the major support zone at 42,000 here. And of course, 43,000 happens to be the strong level on the higher side, which is the call OI. Looking at the top gainers and losers on Friday, MCX, Rain and Cholafin were the top gainers. LTTS, Gujarat Gas, Bata India were the top losers. Looking at the index contribution as such, 29 points positive contribution from IT, 7 points positive contribution from metals, close to 8 points positive contribution from autos. Private banks and oil were the substantial movers for the Nifty contributors as such. 28 points positive contribution from private banks. Oil was marginally negative, minus 1.35, and capital goods on the negative side, minus 0.98. You had pharma also in the positive territory, 2 points contribution, positive contribution. NBFC is close to 11 points positive contribution was seen. Looking at the sectoral build-up, You see PSU banks, metal, power on the long side, FMCG, fertilizer, oil on the short side. Well, we have our own Quantsap symposium coming up, option symposium, which is India's largest option conference. You get an opportunity to learn 10 plus practical option trading strategies, which can be applied from 13th of February itself by yourself. The event is going to be organized at the iconic Bombay Stock Exchange, and it's going to be on 11th and 12th of February 2023. Our sponsors are going to be Alice Blue, Espresso, and M Stock by Mire Asset. Well, to know more, please click on the iCard which pops up on the right-hand side corner, and to know more details about that, and you can please register out there. Thank you. Well, looking at the result calendar, Federal Bank is announcing its results today. That's one important result on the anvil. Well, today's stock I have, we have ICICI GI General Insurance, that is 1260 thereabouts. Well, on a move about 1275, 1280, you can see it marching ahead. 1292 happens to be a stiff resistance, 1324, 25 levels, the next major level. So you have close to 1300 mark, which is a psychological mark, 1292, 1300. That's going to be the concentration range. And then a stop resistance range. And then surpassing that, you could see 1324, 25 levels as the next major resistance. On the lower side, you have 1250 and 1230 and 1216 as the major levels on the lower side as the supports. Not a substantial OI there, but then on an overall basis, no shorts have erupted over there. You're seeing some amount of marginal longs which are there in the system. So let's see how that pans out for ICICI GI. Rather sparse option participation, but let's see 1300 and 1400 are the substantial call OIs. So if it crosses 1300 mark, then you can see a gusto move on this counter. So that's the thing which I sense it. Of course, on the lower side, you have it supported at 1250, as I pointed out, and the major support zone is at around 1215, as we saw on the charts. So it can either go lower, and then that could be a buying point, or it could surpass the 1300 levels, which is a resistance level that could consider to be a positive tinge for the counter. The other stock is Lotus Labs. It's already oversold to a certain degree, but then its major support zone is at around 350, 330 levels. These are the two major supports. On the higher side, you have 400 and 420, 430 thereabouts, 420, 430 range. So that's the resistance range over there. And 400 is a major resistance as such. So you could see either a pull up till 400, and then that could be a sell opportunity there possibly, or there could be a breakdown of 350, and which could find its major support at around 330. So that's the rhythm with which we are working on Lotus Labs. Lotus Labs shorts there in the system. Since long, we are seeing. In December, we saw a long, apart from that, there's no longs which have come in the system. Well, looking at the open interest front, you see 380 and 360 having reasonable OI, but major OI stands at 400 and 450. These are the two major levels. On the lower side, you have 350 and 340 levels, kind of levels which show exhibit put OI as such. Looking at the band list, GNFC, India Bull Housing Finance are the two major stocks in the band list. Possible entrants would be L&T Finance Housing. Possible exits, India Bull Housing Finance. Well, before I wrap up the session, I would like to highlight to you, Please consult your financial advisor before participating in derivative trades. And also, please follow strict stop losses while trading in derivatives. Well, we already witnessed, we saw on the charts 18,374, 18,500 as the major levels on the higher side for Nifty, 17,800, 17,500 are the major supports. You have PSU, banks, metal, power. On the long side, short built up is FMCG, fertilizer, oil. One stock, possibly you could see a positive 12 there, is ICICI GI, and Lotus Labs with a negative 12. Ban list is India Bull Housing Finance and GNFC. Well, that's it from my side. Wish you happy trading and all the best.